And welcome back. On Friday, January the 8th, 1993, Radio 70X ceased to operate. After 50 years of broadcasting, 70X was one of the most popular commercial radio stations in the state. The station had close links with the community in areas of promotion, advertising and on-air entertainment. Recently, we caught up with several former employees of 70X over lunch and jogged their memories about those good old days. Is anyone here that worked at that building?
You want to laugh?
Did you work there?
Yes.
What at? How long?
I worked there for the last 12 months at that building and then building this building.
So when was the last 12 months in that building?
1961, 62.
61, 62.
70X moved into this building at the same time that TV started in Launceston.
So Max virtually commissioned the studio,
Yes,
I was the one that had to pull it apart. So he sort of turned it on and turned it off.
So you've always been in the engineering?
No.
Yeah. Not always engineering?
I started as a panel operator and trainee engineer, and then went into production and everything else, and then ended up back in engineering and everything else.
And announcing.
And announcing.
So you're currently the longest serving employee of 70X?
No, I had 23 years out in the middle. I went to Melbourne and was away for 23 years and then came back.
And Marilyn, you were in the community services area?
No, I started on talkback, and then when they went to music, I got into promotions, cooking sausages, swimming pools, everything that could possibly be done, feeding 2,500 breakfasts, just minor items like that.
How did you start with 70X, Tony?
I started on the sports program, actually. At 70X.
Well, Murph was your boss, was
No, I was always freelance, just in and out, giving comments and things. And then for a year, I think we ran a Saturday morning program, which was a lot of fun. But 70X to me, I mean, I'm a traditional old Launcestonian. Sam was, this is probably showing my age and Sam's, but I mean, growing up into the high school, grade 10, 11, suddenly the world was opening up because of fellows like Sam. They're obviously their mainland influence, and he was this, I can remember Sam Anglesea when I was, 15, 16, opening the world up to us. I mean, it was, the world was opening up, almost ready to leave school, and you had this radio station. It was terrific.
I started at EX in March 1972, and I could not believe, having worked in a variety of radio stations before that, what a buzz the place was. It sounds trite to say it now, perhaps, but I recall the days there, particularly in my full-time years there during the 70s, as being a place where you literally couldn't wait to get out of bed to go to work.
Exactly.
It was fun to go to work.
Fun to go to work.
It's a great place.
And
I wonder how
it
many
sounds
businesses
funny
are
to
around
say.
like that today.
But nobody was in a hurry to leave. I mean, there was a great social atmosphere, and it was a family.
Yeah.
And you didn't have any trouble getting people going to promotions. I mean, the things we asked announcers to do, guys that were working from 4:30 in the morning, Saturdays and Sundays, we were off somewhere every weekend with a couple of thousand people.
Well, look at the promotions that 70X conducted. The Basin concert, and we've got photos here that show literally thousands of people.
For most of its 20-year history, the concert has been sponsored by this radio station. Organisers say today's 10,000 fans each donated an average of only 60 cents.
All the promotions that took place, whether they were, Mike, you were involved with those trips to Surface and, in the mall, the beauty pageants and things like that. Key Mania.
Talent quests. We went all over.
Lucky Dollar. I think that talent quest was wonderful because it's such a community involvement,
Had actually gone on to do things. June Timms was a very shy girl that appeared at Devonport with the quietest little whisper, who set up high on legs. And suddenly this booming voice just knocked the audience flat. And she's got tapes out now. And from the other scale, we'd have little kids doing knock-knock jokes.
Well, who controls the industry, the radio industry, to say that society doesn't want that sort of thing today? Have we changed that much? I mean,
Accountants, yeah. Where the dollars
that's
are.
really sad. In fact, we're just talking about, Mike was saying about the time and talking for 7 seconds and that. I mean, I speak to different radio managers around the country, and they say to me, well, there's no talent anymore. There's nobody, because of this, they've come through such a background that all they're told to do on the air is give the time and temperature.
Time and temperature. And then they say, OK, we're going to come to a personality radio station, and these kids that have come through that system go, what do you mean, what do we do?
Yeah,
They
yeah.
have
No
no
idea.
personality. That's what's missing nowadays because it is so stifled.
It's pretty stifled. Probably
Yeah.
personality to
I mean,
start.
ad breaks for a start. I mean, it has
There's
become
nothing
the
really
almighty
innovative.
dollar.
There's nothing innovative going on in a lot of the media, really. What it does, it sort of feeds off itself all the time. It copies what somebody else is doing. Somebody does something well, someone in New York might do something well, or Sydney, and everybody copies that and tries to, because it works there, they think it's going to work here too.
From what you were saying,
Rather
Sam,
than saying, well, this is the marketplace, this is Launceston, this is Sydney, what do they want?
from what you were saying, of course, you can take from that the Australian radio industry, under this current setup, will never breed another John Laws.
Oh, no.
There was one night when there was a whole group of people, some who used to work here at Southern Cross, or Channel 9 as it was then, a guy called Peter Kay, myself, and I can't remember who the other one was. Oh, yes, he's a lawyer now. We're sitting at my place, and they came up with this crazy idea of doing this stunt, whereby they were saying that we were getting interference from the earth, and you're going to have problems with your radio and static electricity, etc.
Sunspots.
And the sunspots, yeah. And it just turned out to be the most berserk thing because you couldn't stand up vertical. This was the whole thing. And also you couldn't wear your normal shoes. You had to wear thongs
Or wellies.
or you had to wear welly boots. and it was incredible. The Launceston General... Oh, it was. Launceston General Hospital was just, the phone calls. And it wasn't just the police being called out, but the police were called out in thongs and Wellington boots. And it just caused absolute chaos around the place with Peter Kay's...
It was a
little
total
stunt.
character, wasn't it? I mean,
Yeah, he was.
Absolute-
There were funny little things that were forgotten, like saying all these things about you've got to stay out of the sunspots, etc. But of course, when you've had a few beers and you're throwing these ideas around, you forget about little things like horses. All of a sudden, these kids are, I'm not leaving my horse outside, it's coming inside the house, you know.
Your mums and dads keep their kids home from school?
Oh, yeah. It was a absolutely chaotic morning. And I can tell you the phones around here were berserk.
Max, in your area, engineering, any major catastrophes in your time here? Trips up to, where was the aerial, Mount Barrow?
No, the area was at St Leonard's.
St Leonard's?
On Abel's Hill.
Any story or incident that comes to
Probably
memory?
the worst area in Australia for lightning strikes. We're always getting struck by lightning, and several of the huts up there have been burnt down by lightning.
Right.
And then, of course, you've got to string up pieces of wire into trees to make aerials.
Well, 70X still has the strongest signal in Tasmania, doesn't it, of any radio station?
It always had a very good transmitter site, and it's always had good coverage. 7LA was down on the edge of the river, and everyone used to say that the edge of the river was the best place to transmit from, but it didn't work.
Sam, the midnight to dawn stories.
Midnight to Dawn stories.
Yeah, midnight to dawn announcers.
It was Alan McClelland was the manager, and he said, look, we've got a special Midnight to Dawn coming up. There's a new Beatles album out, and we're going to give hundreds of these Beatles albums away. And so it was New Year's Eve. So we wanted sort of a New Year's Eve party all night type. So we said get plenty of sort of party sound effects and make it sound like you're having a party. So I went ahead with this, and a lot of my friends turned up while I was on the air, and they said, do you want a New Year's Eve drink? Because we don't normally drink on the air, but being a New Year's Eve, okay. So in they marched with a keg of beer and proceeded to set it up in the studio and let all their mates and friends came in with them, right? And so it was a party. And I can remember Macca saying to me next Monday when I got back to work, he said, I love the sound effects. So it was great. It sounded like it was really happening.
I can remember another story involving that very same fella, Ian Grace. He started at EX doing Midnight to Dawn. We decided one night we'd give him a bit of a scare because he wasn't exactly the most relaxed fellow in those days. And Michael, of course, is talking about the supposed ghost that inhabited the building. So we'd been out on a fishing expedition, had some frozen fish with us as well, so pulled up under the studio window in the car, climbed onto the roof, as Sam was reiterating there with that other incident, and threw a couple of frozen fish through the window against the far wall of the studio. And I've never seen a man move out of a chair with such a high scream in my life.
No, we had some fun.
Times have changed. Alan McClelland, how long was he manager for, Paul? He was
a long time. Well, he actually had 2 stints, didn't he?
That's right.
He started as manager, I think,
1962.
62 from Max. Then later in that decade went to 3UZ, where he worked under the one of the great mentors of radio, Lewis Bennett, as his deputy general manager. Then came back to EX. I think that would have been, well, certainly about the late 60s from memory, Max, wasn't it? I think about the late 60s. He came back for his
68.
second stint, and then would have been there till I think roughly about the mid-80s, when he was asked to go back to Melbourne and rescue an ailing 3UZ at that time.
It'd be about 87.
And unfortunately, he never returned to his beloved 70X or Launceston because he died in Melbourne.
Would I be right in saying he became the Tasmanian mentor of radio? Because he was held in high esteem, wasn't he?
He was a beautiful guy, Alan, really. And we're just saying a bit earlier, I've never heard anybody anywhere that has ever had a bad word for the man.
He's loved around the city.
Yes,
And business knew him, and you know, Sam was saying.
Great man who contributed a lot to Radio 70X, Alan McClelland. I think also that sunspot story that Mike Dodd told us will certainly go down in radio history. We'll be back with more after this break.
70X. Got the light. City rhythm, ooh yeah. City rhythm, give me light. City rhythm, ooh yeah. City rhythm, money light. City rhythm, ooh yeah. 10, 10, 70X. City rhythm.